Okay, so Brandon, welcome. So for our audio listeners, we're in the second half of this Chiefs Giants game, or right about the start of it. Do you have any thoughts? This is awful. We had to start early because we couldn't take it. We just couldn't do it.
I thought, like I was telling you before, I thought Seahawks Cardinals was a bad game a few years ago, however long ago that game was.
It was 6-6 and a tie. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was bad. I mean, this is just as bad. Like this is just these are two teams that both deserve to be 0-3, but someone has to win this game, unfortunately. So it's oh god, is it ugly football? I don't even know how else to describe.
Do you want to talk about the commentary?
Oh yeah, I've never seen. I mean, listen, Patrick Mahomes throughout his career has been a great quarterback. We talk about him in the GOAT conversations. Yeah, he's got the 3 rings, all that, what have you. His last 2 years, he has not been good. Point blank, period. Regardless of weapons, whatever it is, he has not been good. The first 3 weeks so far, even tonight's game, he has not been good. He has thrown a backwards pass to nobody twice. One of which was a fumble that got screwed up by the Giants. All they had to do was just fall on the ball. They didn't do that. So Patrick Mahomes then strips the ball away back from Bobby Okereke on the fumble recovery. And Chris Collinsworth is sitting there saying, wow, that's only a play that Mahomes can make. Are you serious? You are actually going to glaze a guy that had 2 of the worst passes I've ever seen in a football game. Just like, does anybody understand? Like, and then Mike Tirico was like, wow, what a play. And I'm like, does anybody watch football anymore? How can you look at the way Mahomes is playing and say, wow, what a game? He looks like garbage. He has for the last 2 years, and he does through the first 3 weeks this year. Can we stop, please? My
Scoop,
God.
welcome in. Can we hear you okay? See, hopefully.
Let's see.
Hopefully.
Oh, my God. Honestly, if the Chiefs score a touchdown here, the game's probably over.
The game's over, yeah. Oh, my God. I think that's good. Scoop!
Let's see. The all important.
Are we gonna have a little huge pop again?
Oh damn!
No, not yet, Scoop. Might have to restart your computer.
Oh my God!
Good.
I like just looking at this. It's like,
sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
Oh yay! There you go.
Yeah, I knew what I had. That's why I was like, just give me a second.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, do you guys want to yell about Kevin Patullo while we talk about this shitty game? Or while we watch this shitty game?
You go ahead, Brandon. You were here first.
Oh, believe me, through 2.5 weeks, all I've done is yell at Kevin Patullo. Honestly, I'm willing to put money on it in the second half of today's game that he was not calling those plays. I will put money on it that was quite literally a Jalen Hurts, like, putting his foot in Patullo's you-know-what, like, in that second half and saying, hey, we have to fix this now. And you're a part of the problem. Like, you can literally see during the game, he went up to Patullo and was like, we got to fix this now. Like, right now. We cannot play like this every week. And he even said in the post game, Jalen was like, he's like, yeah, what a comeback. But he basically indirectly took a shot, or what can be taken as a shot, about Patullo when he's like, no, the way we came out in the second half, that's how we want to play. We're aggressive. We've got the players. He's like, the first half we were playing not to lose. I'm basically paraphrasing. He's like, he said those words. He's like, I'm basically tired of playing not to lose football, and I love hearing that from him because that's what I want. I want my quarterback to. And today was the first real day that he showed emotion throughout all 4 quarters because of how fed up he was with how this offense was in the first half. And it's true. Dude, the Eagles as a whole on offense have to stop playing games as if they're playing not to lose. it's not going to win you. It's not going to win you a Super Bowl. It's just not. And when you're playing not to lose, you're not playing to win. So it's I get being safe and not turning the ball over and doing those little things, but you can still do that while playing better offensively. And that's in the second half they showed who they really are when they're finally allowed to use a quote spread their wings. But it's like I just watching that first half, it drove me insane because it was the same like through 2.5 weeks, because we count the first half of today's game, so through 2.5 games, all I saw was quite literally a worse version of the Brian Johnson offense. And I get not opening your playbook fully, and whatnot, in the first week or two, and trying, to see what works and trying to just kind of be careful about how you could kind of not careful, but like trying to not give away too much while still winning a football game. But Jalen,
it's the regular season. You got to play your full.
Yeah, but Jalen overall was right. He said in the post game, "I'm tired of basically playing not to lose," and that's why in the second half he finally got turned loose. The offense finally got turned loose. I mean, Saquon had an okay game, not really great stat line wise, but in the second half had there was a much better result in the second half with some of the early runs early on. 5, 6, 7 yards a pop here or there. But I could go on and on about Kevin Patullo, but this is also a guy who has been like this also shows you how kind of deep this issue is with the play calling, where this is a guy who's been basically the pass game coordinator for Philly for the last, or at least involved in it, the last 2, 3, I think, 4 years. I think since Sirianni became the head coach in 21, he's been involved in this staff. So if these are the play calls that he's coming up with, it shows you exactly who the culprit is as to why this passing offense has done nothing. It shows you exactly who the problem is. And honestly, I'm like I said before, like I said at the start of this, I'm willing to bet any amount of money that Jalen was starting to call the shot, at least not call the plays, but definitely start calling his own number and calling the shots in the second half, because that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. Scoop, go ahead. Are you as pissed at Patullo as Brandon is?
Excuse me, sorry. I mean, I'll put it this way. In my opinion, there are 31 teams that go into that, well, I guess 30 teams that go into that game in the second half, 26-7 down, and come back and lose that game against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
The one that didn't was on the field today. And I say that with the caveat that watching that first half made me want to gouge my eyes out. And I was embarrassed by some of the level of conservative play calling. I was irritated by the fact that we kept not only just running the same crap over and over, but running the same crap over and over when the saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it's broke, you better fix it.
You got to fix it. Yep.
And I go back, Brandon knows what I'm talking about. I go back to the first year that Coach Sirianni was here. And what happened at the beginning of that first season, we were horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept trying to force Jalen to do things he wasn't built to do. We kept trying to be this sort of, this West Coast dink and dunk, pass happy offense which was not what Jalen nor our personnel was built to do. I have no idea what the problem has been. Let me rephrase that. I know that a lot of people had their own, either whether you want to say opinions, conspiracy theories, or just outright inane agendas with regard to why A.J. Brown was AWOL Brown for the last 2 weeks. That being said, oh my gosh, when people had been clamoring for Fred Johnson ever since Lane went down, which I pray he's okay. Which now, luckily, what we did hear after the game is that apparently it was a stinger. They do expect him to be back next week, thank God.
That's
Now,
good. That's good. That's a positive on the injury front around the league because we had some
it is.
devastating
We had
injuries.
some really, really negatives today. And I pray for every single player on every single team. I hope that everybody is okay in the long run for themselves first, obviously, and then football second. But
Yeah.
watching as things progress, I'm just looking back there and I'm thinking, and this is kind of what Brandon was saying, but it looked to me as if.
Why are we doing this? Can I pause you, Scoop? I'm sorry. Yeah. Jackson Dart was in the game.
Are you
for one
freaking
play.
kidding me?
He's in the game for one play, bro. Why is he in the game for one play?
Against the Chiefs, no less. Who I know that they're not the Chiefs of old, but what in the congratulate?
Why are they making him run like that? What is going on?
Yeah. What is this? What is this?
To gain 2 damn yards.
Scoop, I apologize for interrupting, but every time Jackson Dart goes on the field, we have to be alert. We have to be alert when Jackson Dart is on the field.
I hate the Giants for being an Eagles fan, but I also hate them because of dumb crap like this. Jackson Dart don't deserve this.
My God, man. Like the thing is, we talk about him not, behind that offensive line. If he was to actually play, he'd be taking a ton of hits because that offensive line is not good.
He just took a hit right now.
Exactly.
No, that's Russ. That's Russ.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying on that last play.
But it's like, but you basically let him. You brought him into this game. He takes off running and takes a hit. Like, because there was nothing, and there's nothing open, so he has to take off. So he's still taking a hit no matter what. If he's running for his life because no one's open, or he's going to take a hit behind his offensive line. But sure, we dart out one play and see what happens, but that's the result. Yeah, okay.
Jesus. All right, Scoop, finish up on the Eagles. My apologies.
Yeah.
We're on alert every time that man steps on the field. We're just like, what is going on?
I'll try and wrap this up real quick, but I'm trying to remember where I left off. But essentially, like we go back to what happened and that's what I felt. Part of what I felt like I was watching today. I don't understand what this mentality is to keep just ducking it out. Not lateral passes necessarily. When I say passing laterally, I mean just passing basically for no gain. I don't understand what the mentality was there. I don't understand the Hurts. I don't care what people say. Hurts analytically has a good deep ball. Why is this guy keep trying to pass more horizontally than he is trying to get it down the field?
It's Petula. It's Petula. This is playbook.
He's been on this team long enough that his playbook should at least somewhat resemble what it's been the last couple years. And so that was, but then again, shocker, when you bring in Fred Johnson, like we've been clamoring for God knows how long, and when you finally were able to get the ball to AJ Brown, which hopefully that'll quiet to bed all this other garbage we've been hearing the last 2 weeks, shocker, good things happen. And my guess is that they weren't even game planning that hard against AJ Brown because they were probably buying into all this other nonsense about, oh, he's not a big part of the blah, 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 whatever that crap has been. But suffice it to say, again, and even when they came out of the second half, this team didn't necessarily it didn't look like they had made a ton of great adjustments. And, I think it took a little while. And I actually said to somebody, Brendan, I don't remember if it was you, but I said to somebody, I said, I'm going to give them this drive. If they score, I'm going to keep this game on.
Me and you said that to each other. We said it to each other.
That was us. And then, sure enough, they get the tutty to make it 26-14. I'm like, I'll be damned. They actually scored.
Yeah.
But man, what a massive turnaround. Now, that second half is the team that I remember from the Super Bowl. That second half is the team that needs to show up these next 15 weeks. And that second team is why people like me believe this team can end the no repeats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you know what I hate too every week.
Ew.
What is that 2-week-old water?
No.
Man.
What is happening?
That was green tea. Relax.
I'm
drinking San Pellegrino, not sponsored, although we would love some San Pellegrino sponsor.
Yeah. Like what bothers me too, like the biggest criticism I have, or not criticism. The biggest criticism I hear about Jalen that I hate, like I hate hearing it, is the ones who just say they don't bring up any evidence. They just say, "Oh, he can't throw." He has proven to me time.
not that crap again.
Time.
I don't like that. Can we not like
Even
this
after
out?
even after the first 2 weeks, you know who had one of the top 2 completion rates in the NFL? Jalen freaking Hurts, and that was with not getting the ball to AJ Brown.
And what people also don't realize too, they're like, oh well, why doesn't he throw the ball to Brown? He's open. I'm like, look at these plays that we've called for the first 2.5 games.
Open?
Do you see him open anywhere?
Do you see anyone open anywhere?
Do you see anyone open? Would you like Jalen to throw into triple coverage and throw an interception? Would you like that instead?
I feel like you and I, Brandon, I feel like you and I had almost an identical conversation after the first 2 weeks that we had after, and I'm going to make myself sick by bringing this back up, but the second half of that 2023 debacle that you and I both had to live through. And it reminded me very much of a conversation that was had back then. But no, again, whatever this playbook was over the first 5 halves of the season, throw it underneath the ground. I don't need to ever see it again. This second half of today, this is Eagles football.
Yeah, and it's like the one thing it's like that I like seeing is like obviously in the second half too. Letting Jalen, because Jalen trusts those guys. Those guys I've been with him for a long time. AJ is one of his longtime friends outside of football.
Yep.
He basically said to AJ, "Hey, you want to come do this thing here in Philadelphia?" He was like, "Yes, sir." Then you said, he played with Devontae at Bama. He's been with Devontae since college. So to say, also that's another criticism of Jalen Hurts that I hate is that he's only good because of his weapons. Who else in the league has that kind of chemistry?
Wait. We talked about this last week. Why do people still repeat that? Man?
Because it's something like that I hear every week, or it's like Jalen can't throw unless his receivers are wide open. Do you know that Jalen Hurts since 2022 is basically top 5 in the league in tight window throws and tight window accuracy? Why do we have to keep repeating this? Did you not see the deep ball that he threw to Devontae Smith?
I think we've not to be critical or whatever. I just think that this conversation with him as like a bad quarterback is so overblown. I'm so tired of talking about it.
I just don't get why I don't get why no one else gets this kind of treatment. Like Joe Burrow doesn't get this, Mahomes doesn't get this, Allen doesn't get this, Lamar doesn't get this, Herbert doesn't get it as often as he should.
Scoop, please go ahead. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Brandon, for finally mentioning Justin Herbert, because this guy feels like wears I feel like when all the 52 other guys are wearing Charger uniforms, he's wearing a Teflon uniform. But
both quarterbacks sucked in that game today.
Oh, they were terrible.
No, I know him and was it Bo Nix? I think that was
Bo.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw a quarterback look like a rookie in his second year and an experienced quarterback in his first year. It just the regression is like something out of Flowers for Algernon. But
I must say, I love how Scoop was like, he didn't fully remember it was Bo Nix, because that's how we all feel today. This was the most boring Sunday of football ever.
It
was so bad.
I expected duck on duck violence. And I got none of it.
Scoop, were you as bored as we were today? I mean, other than the Eagles game, this was a rough Sunday of football.
Buccaneers was good, I think.
Bucs was good, but only at the end, really.
Yeah, well, so I'll say this, and also, I mean, you also got to keep in mind, in between, I went and I watched, the baseball game, which anytime you get a grand slam in the 10th, that kind of helps a little bit. But
by the way, save the MLB stuff. We'll do that as post-credit scene again, because we got one more week left. So I want to talk some baseball.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to make it a focal point of what I was about to say. But I mean, again, holy blowout system, blowout.
That's one of the worst Mahomes throws I've ever seen in my entire life. What in?
I wasn't paying attention.
Christ, that's fine. The throw was awful.
But again. Carolina wins by 30. I know it's the Falcons, but Carolina wins by 30. The Browns managed to beat the Packers. The Vikings, apparently the Purple People Eaters 2.0 showed up because they won by 38.
Yeah.
and then I mean the Jets managed to make it interesting at the end there. The Colts hung 41 on Tennessee, which is surprising me less by the week.
Wait, can we pause on the Colts really quick? Let's talk about the Colts really fast.
Okay.
Are they a Super Bowl contender through 3 weeks? I don't want to say throughout the year because I did that with the Saints last year and then they were crap.
Off the first 3 weeks, they're the best team in the AFC.
They're the best team in football.
Yeah.
I'm reluctant to say Super Bowl contender, and I've got a couple of reasons for that. One, excuse me. Again, I hate to beat a dead horse on this one. This game, I know it was a division game, but this game was against Tennessee, who nobody was expecting to be significant this year. It's Cam Ward and Lord knows what else. They are, in my opinion, one of the most overlooked dysfunctional franchises. Like we talk because so much attention goes to other teams. I feel like, and I think the Titans are right. What?
It's the bigger market bad teams like the Jets.
Yeah. And I think them being in a small market, we talk about teams that are in a small market that don't get as much attention as they should for being good. I think they don't get as much attention as they should for being a horribly dysfunctional organization, top to bottom.
I fully agree. I fully agree.
So that being said, I do want to give credit where due to Daniel Jones because a couple of the plays that I saw him make this today, I saw him convert. I think it was a 17-yard run on the ground. I want to say it was something of that nature.
Yep.
And so I will say my comment about their competition, that is not to take away anything from Daniel Jones, and I don't think that he's suddenly going to fall apart when they have to play more stiff competition. But I will say, I always find it dangerous to talk about Super Bowl competition when you're beaten, because again, if you're going to go into the playoffs and you're going to compete for the AFC Championship, are you going to face the Tennessee Titans? My guess is no. So
no way.
So that's my. I'm not going to say I'm not going to call them pretenders, but I'm going to say my guy Colin Cowherd has that game buy, sell, or hold. I'm going to hold on the Colts for now.
I think that is the right move. Let me see. Let me pull up.
Because also too, like when you think about it, through 3 weeks. Now listen, 3-0 is 3-0, but still through 3 weeks, they've played a god awful Miami Dolphins team.
I couldn't remember who the other opponents were.
Yeah, they've played a stuttering Broncos team that probably should have won that game if it wasn't for the leverage penalty, and then they destroyed the Titans. But let's be honest, like. I mean, the Browns and Titans could go to war. The Browns could probably destroy the Titans. Like, it's. So
the Titans just. The Browns just beat the freaking Packers.
It's like So, as much as people are getting like, and listen, now Daniel Jones is finally becoming the quarterback that had promise out of college and why he was a top 10 pick, whatever. Well, at that time a reach, but still a top 10 pick.
Right.
But I don't want people to get blinded by the fact that like it's been 3 weeks. It's now through 3 weeks. Are they the best team in the AFC? Hell yeah, by a good bit. But the problem is that it's 3 weeks. And really 2 of those games have been against god-awful competition that should be relegated to the XFL. Or, sorry, the UFL. So, I like them. I like what they're doing. I love Shane Steichen. If you would have told me, like I said, if you would have told me, 3 years ago that Shane Steichen would be fixing Daniel Jones, I would have said you're crazy. But it's just... I look at that team and I go, wow, they're good. Daniel Jones is really good right now. Jonathan Taylor looks great. Finally, like after having a couple of years of a little bit of injuries, but last year he was pretty good. This year now he's looking great through 3 weeks. But it is 3 weeks, and it's like look, they've got the Rams next week. They got the Raiders, the Cardinals, but they got in the next 4 weeks, 2 of those 4 games are on the road, and actually they're both in LA. They're both in the same stadium. It's Rams and it's Chargers. So, and those 2 games, those 2 teams to me are way better than they are like on paper. So, To me, when I look at that, those two games will tell me, because the Cardinals game is not going to tell me much. The Raiders game is not going to tell me much, win or lose. Those two games will tell me, and especially because that's already 7 weeks in. So if they end up being 5-2, then I'm like, okay, we can pause a little bit. If they end up being 6-1 or better, then it's like, oh, okay, the Colts are for real. So it's like, because then after that, I mean, when you look at their schedule, it's really not a hard schedule. I mean, you can only play what you can play, but they're not playing the Ravens at any point this year. They're not playing the Bills. They're playing the Chiefs in Kansas City in November, right around Thanksgiving. So that's going to be a big game if the Chiefs are somehow find their way out of the muck. But Seahawks later on, that could be a kind of a closer game than we think. So there's a couple games here that will tell us what they really are. Like, they could easily end up being a Vikings situation where it's like Daniel Jones could look like Sam Darnold, and last year, because he's got all these weapons around him. They got the line, they've got the running back, they've got the receivers, they have a decent defense, not the greatest, but a decent defense. Like, they've got the head coach that knows how to play to his offensive strengths. All this just like the Vikings. But what was one thing the Vikings had a problem with? One-score games and couldn't get it done against real teams when it mattered. So, we have to pause on it. But through 3 weeks, they are definitely the best team in the AFC. So that's important to note.
Yeah. Scoop, do you have anything else on the Colts? And also, when we're talking about one-score games, we also have to bring up the Buccaneers as well. So I'll give you the floor for both of those.
I appreciate it, because I love talking some Bucks, because who quarterbacks the Bucks? It is my guy, Mr. Baker Mayfield. Now, I'll say this, because I saw the end of this game, and it was definitely chaotic football for anybody who missed it. It was there was a blocked field goal by the Jets, which Will McDonald returned, went half the field, returned it for 50 yards for the then that led to the touchdown, which made it 27-26. And then Nick Folk got the extra point. I don't know why I had a hard time with that phrase. And then McClellan ended up winning the game on a field goal with 3 seconds to go. That made it 29-27. But it was definitely a very nail-biting end of the game, which credit to the Jets there. They were pesky, especially in the fourth quarter, laying 3 tutties in this game. I was not thrilled by the performance of the Buccaneer defense. Now, the Bucs did dominate time of possession. They dominated yards per play. Unfortunately, they also got penalized twice as much as the Jets did. They need to clean that up for sure. But again, Baker had the kind of game that we expect from him, to kind of pass around that 30 attempts mark, complete about 2/3 of those, push it down the field, and have that 100 passer rating, which he did everything that they needed him to do. I think that they probably would have liked to convert a little bit more than 1 for 5 in the red zone. But again, they were fortunate in that was all they ultimately needed. But again, I credit the Jets. Of course, another loss obviously takes them to 0-3. But for Tyrod, who I don't think they expected to have to rely on, especially not for almost 40 passing attempts today. He had, I think, a very reasonable game. He also was their lead rusher. Because Breece Hall couldn't get much going on the ground, even though he did have their longest run. He did screw all else. But again, I thought that I was going to see more lopsided in favor of the Bucs. So the Bucs did go to 3-0 as I expected. The Jets did go to 0-3 as I expected, but not under the circumstances that I would have foreseen by any stretch of the imagination. And then, Rob, if you don't please remind me as to what other game you wanted me to discuss.
The other one I wanted you to discuss in full. Well, actually, seeing if you had anything else on the Colts, but do you have anything else on the Colts?
Hello. I think I pretty much said everything there is to say about the Colts. The Colts I did expect them to kind of go away with this one. That game went, one team went to 3-0 and one team went to 0-3 under circumstances I found much more predictable. But again, like I said, I think we'll know more about the Colts when it's not the Titans that they're facing, even on the road, which, is credit. But now they got to go to LA next week. And then a couple weeks later, they face the Cardinals, and then they're back against the Chargers in LA again. They got to go face the Steelers on the road a couple weeks after that. All this is before the bye week, so especially some of those games later, when they've got to go on the road to the Chargers, or they got to go on the road to the Steelers. I think that we'll know a little bit more at that point. And then certainly, I think a couple of those games on the second half of the bye week. I don't find their schedule particularly daunting. But I think that we're not at the point now where we've seen the meatiness part of it that's really going to, give us a strong definition as to what is this Colts team this year, aside from, wow, Daniel Jones can actually play some really solid football when his team actually cares about supporting him.
Yeah. Brandon, do you have anything else on the Buccaneers?
See, when I watch the Bucs, the one thing I will say is Baker has become that guy for me where you look at certain quarterbacks, right, and you go like, oh, that's too much time for Patrick Mahomes. That's too much time for Josh Allen. That's too much time for back then Tom Brady. Now I'm looking at these games late, and I'm like, oh, that's too much time for Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So when a quarterback can do that, I mean, you don't want him to do it every week. That's the one thing is they've been having to do it every week for the first 3 weeks, but when you have a quarterback that can just keep pulling it off, it's like the only way you're going to beat them at this point is you have to really beat them to keep them down. And so, Baker and the offense, I mean, at times it's not perfect, but they get the job done. They just get the job done every week. The only thing I'm concerned with going forward is what Mike Evans' hamstring will look like. The news we get on that, because if they lose him, I mean, they still have guys in his place that are still really, 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 really good, but losing your number one, losing Mike Evans, losing a first ballot Hall of Famer is never going to be fun. And if it's a hamstring, that means he's going to be out for a few weeks. So it's it remains to be seen what's going to happen with that. But at the same time, I think that it's so hard. Their defense hasn't been great, but then that's just a testament to how much their offense just keeps coming back at you every week. And I mean, if you can't keep them off the scoreboard, if you really can't hold them down like for 4 quarters, they will beat you. And that's a scary team. When all it takes is just one good offensive drive to get them rolling, and then they can kind of just if they can hang around in games, 9 times out of 10 they're going to win it. That's a scary, scary team, because the thing is, even for our birds, if you leave Philly hanging around a little bit too long, we're gonna find a way to make it at least interesting. The Bucs.
We saw that today for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you so it's like it's the same thing with the Bucs. I mean, the Bucs haven't had a big deficit to climb yet, so next week should be interesting with us playing them and seeing who's going to have their first loss of the season. But at the same time, it's just the DNA of the Bucs, and because I particularly don't care for their coaching staff. I mean, we've said this on the show multiple times. We don't like their coaching staff, but what Baker Mayfield is able to do and what that talent on that offense is able to do in crunch time when it matters. Rachaad White, Bucky Irving, who I love, another Duck. I've always said Mike Evans is my favorite non-Eagle in the NFL. Mike Evans is probably one of my favorite players ever to play this game. I like Emeka.
That's a fumble? Are you kidding me?
What happened? Who fumbled?
Oh, my God in heaven. I'm so sorry, but this game is pissing me off. Holy smokes.
Don't worry about it. That's just the issue that I have when it comes to watching them is the Bucs kind of have a little bit of a weird injury management history. They don't kind of manage their injuries well, but I just think overall, when you've got a never say die quarterback Like Baker is somewhere in
Yeah.
between. Like Baker is somewhere in between, like a gunslinger and like almost being too conservative until he has to turn it up a notch. Like he's somewhere in between, and it's like he can be that gunslinger, and he can also be the guy that takes care of the football, that can play not to lose and still win a game. Like he can do both. And when you have a quarterback that can do either one of those things, or just be a straight up just be the reason that a team wins a game. Because how many times we look at Baker Mayfield like, oh yeah, that's the reason they won the game. Like that literally happened last week against the Texans, and it happened once again pretty much this week against the Jets. So Baker, the career arc that he's on, like I called it early on Matt Stafford being a Hall of Famer. If Baker continues this way for another couple, maybe another season or two, Baker Mayfield's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, and that's the way he's playing. He is playing just some of the best football I've seen in recent years, and he's playing like a top 7 quarterback. That's what he is.
I'd like to add on to that and just say Brandon and I speak a lot. Like again, I'm a huge statistical guy. I'm a huge analytical guy. But Brandon and I talk often about how Jalen Hurts, the sometimes the numbers don't do the full justice to what he is as a quarterback. Right behind that, I would put Baker Mayfield. Yep. It's not just because I've been a fan of the guy since in 2018 when I was one of the people saying I hope Cleveland took him number 1. But But again, just you've seen it time and again. The guy just wins. Like there's no other way that I can put it. You can see his teammates buy into it. You can see the
dart run cam. Here we go.
Jesus,
scared the crap out of me.
Oh, sorry, the Jackson dart again, man. Why is he out there? Jesus Christ. All right, Scoop, go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out who the Maras hate more, the quarterback, the fans, or themselves.
Everybody.
All the above? Yeah.
And all they did is run with Cam Scatabo. What's the point?
I've never prayed as much for a Giants quarterback as I'm going to tonight because that guy's going to get murdered.
What is happening?
God.
I also keep having to fix my headphones because apparently I keep knocking the wire and it keeps dislodging.
Yikes!
But
yeah, Baker's going into Hall of Fame trajectory.
That's pretty much everything. And I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but I'm going to say it. Great job, Cleveland. Great job, Cleveland, that you're still looking for a quarterback, that you're now paying the most expensive contract guaranteed in history to one of the worst quarterbacks, worst people to play quarterback in decades. And now the quarterback that you got rid of because you needed an adult in the room is now having a career resurgence in Tampa Bay as the successor to the GOAT, as perhaps the best possible outcome you can have to succeed Tom Brady. Great freaking job, Jimmy Haslam, you idiot.
Okay, really quick on Cleveland. Cleveland has this really weird dichotomy because they beat the Packers today. But that game, all the Browns had an amazing defense. It's just that, if they could fix that offense, Scoop, not saying they ever will, but if they could fix that offense, that team could be so special.
And if my aunt had, she'd be my uncle. I never know how to respond to that because it's absolutely.
It's so obvious. It's so obvious, isn't it? It's so obvious.
It is, but that would require you to have not only an owner that has patience, but an owner that actually doesn't meddle, an owner that trusts his general manager to general manage, an owner, that doesn't just randomly decide, I want this guy because he's going to help my jersey sales. I want this guy because this, that, or the other. Jimmy Haslam has proven, he may be a good owner of Pilot Flying J. I've been there several times. Seems like a decent enough run business. Pilot Flying J is not the NFL.
What? Wait, what is that? Is that a restaurant?
It's a truck stop.
It's a truck stop. Oh my god!
I've never heard of it. So.
Oh, I've been there a handful of times. But anyway, so he seems to be a decent owner of that from the little bit that I know. Which fine, good for you. That is not the NFL. Just because you can run a business that is solely based on profit margin does not mean that you can. Because the NFL, wins and losses are different than profit. Now, oftentimes there's a strong correlation between your financial success and your ability and your winning on the field, and vice versa. Is that true? A lot of the times, eventually, yes. That being said, we've seen with Mr. This accent so thick I believe that it's fake down in Dallas, that those things sometimes a lot of times do have a divergence. And the fact that again, now, and I happen to know a decent amount of their history. May he rest in peace, my grandfather being a diehard Browns fan. So the Browns were owned by a guy named Al Lerner, who passed away. May he rest in peace. Gave the team down to Randy Lerner, his son. His son was not a very interested, connected owner of the team. Decided to put it on the market. Jimmy Haslam got it because he put up the biggest bid, not because of anything about football or anything of that nature. That's just how it happened. So there was not a strong indication or connection to the Browns, like we've seen with the Bills, for example, when the Ralph Wilson estate had to sell them. That what were the priorities for the estate for the sale? Wanted to make sure that the team was going to be kept in Buffalo. Wanted to be convinced of their commitment to Western New York, to the organization, yada yada yada, to the fans. There was not that when the Browns were sold from Randy Lerner to Jimmy Haslam. So that has hurt this whole thing going back to when they came back into the league in '99 after the infamous Art Modell moving the team. They became the Baltimore Ravens, blah, blah, blah. So with all that being said, this goes back a decent amount of time. But the fact that you can't write this, that an organization could have a quarterback that beat the Steelers in the playoffs, which was a pipe dream for 2 decades, would have that, literally not have the ability to actually have it in their possession, and decide to say, we want an adult in the room, publicly say this, and in order to get a quarterback on a guaranteed contract, which nobody in the NFL had as a quarterback at the time, bring in somebody who was not going to be playing right away because he was under investigation for a historic amount of off the field, problems. I could use any number of words, but I'll say problems to be all encompassing. And then you pissed off Mayfield, so he requested a trade, understandably so. And then you get this guy in there, and not only does he have to go through the suspension, but when he comes back from the suspension, he looks like a dud. And then he gets hurt not once but twice. I can't think of a more Cleveland Browns series of events than that. I can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think my grandfather's rage is living on through me.
I think so. All right, are you guys ready for this Giants offense statistic?
Oh boy, I'm an Eagles fan, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, give it to it.
Camp. This was like a bit.
Oh, I saw it
a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
Cam Scatterbo had 103 yards. The rest of the team has 100.
I did not see that, but that's freaking hilarious.
Isn't that good?
God.
Okay, Brandon. Patriots. Can they stop fumbling with their running backs?
I mean, if I was Vrabel, all I'd have them do in practice is do nothing but ball security drills. Every single chance. Ball security drills, and also, God, for the love of God, somebody help Drake May. Please. Buddy. Somebody help Drake. Like it's like Justin Herbert. We always talk about it's his fault. Like he doesn't have help, but it is his fault still. Drake May, it's really not his fault. That team is just garbage around him.
It's so bad. It's
so bad. It's disheartening. And then Stephon Diggs cares more about having off the field affairs than he does playing football. So
jeez.
There's a reason why the Vikings said that they wouldn't let him date their sister.
I went back to that. I went back to that this week too.
Yeah,
it's so good.
So I mean, honestly, it's God. Watching the pay. I mean, I feel bad for Eric. You guys know, but my friend Eric, who's a massive Patriots fan. I'm like, listen, you're so lucky you got the Tom. Well, not lucky. You got the Tom Brady rings. You got that. You got to see that era. Good for you. It'll never happen again because they don't believe in giving Drake May any help, apparently. So it's. I mean, what's crazy too is like they even tried, I think, in the offseason to get him a couple pieces on both sides of the ball to kind of help him out. But nobody on this team is succeeding. No, just nobody is, and it's. Every week they're scoring 14 points a week at this point. Like that's just not good enough to get it done. It's not going to get it done. But yeah, but after this game, after 5 fumbles, the whole team, I'd be making them. I would, if I was, I'd be making them do ball security drills the entire week. The entire week.
Yeah, just bad. Anything on the Patriots, Scoop?
I mean, again, I think a lot of us looked at. Well, okay, I'll speak for myself only. Actually, I think I looked at Bill Belichick and thought, "Wow, this guy is really antiquated when it comes to picking and developing offense." And I think, and I still think that was correct. I didn't realize how high up that ran. I didn't realize that multiple years after they fired Belichick, which apparently, according to what I heard this past week, apparently there is still some very bad blood there on Bill's side, because apparently Pat Staffers, did you guys hear this?
Pat Staffers are not allowed at any games or the facility at all.
Yeah, wow. which I was like, holy crap, Bill Belichick has to be the, oh my gosh.
I wonder how many UNC players are going to get drafted by the Patriots over the course of the next few years. Depending on how long Bill stays there, which, by the way, that looks ugly at the moment, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm going to try and keep myself on one topic, which is hard enough as it is. But just looking at this again, I wasn't wild about the Drake May selection when it was made, but again, there are I think everybody looks at this team needs a QB and thinks that's got to be the first thing that they draft. I don't necessarily agree with that, because if you draft a QB, great, now you have a QB. But if he don't got nothing around him, he's going to get hit too often. He's not going to have time to throw. He's going to get passes either missed or dropped when he does throw, because he doesn't have the support around him on the field. Just because you need a QB doesn't mean that's the right pick right away.
Yeah.
And this was this is something I only learned recently. And maybe I'm late to the party on that. That being, but I've watched, and I think he's a great example of it. But I've watched teams time and again, and we talk about this, the amount of guys who, they draft quarterbacks in the top 5 because that's where they're picking, and they're like, oh, I got to get the best quarterback prospect. Okay, great. But he's so good because he came from either a great college coach or a great college system or a great college program or whatever the case may be. Now he's going to Dudsville. So now that he's going to Dudsville, you're expecting him to have this transfer of success without realizing, okay, he's now going from, cooking under a 5-star, Michelin chef to, being on Chopped where he's got, fish heads and expired, Jell-O. And
pretty much.
So I talked last week about cautionary tales in the NFL, and I wonder if this will now be a cautionary tale to or at least an example of a cautionary tale to NFL teams in the next few years. Just because you need a QB doesn't mean, and when I say you overdraft one, I don't necessarily mean that you draft the wrong guy. I mean that you draft a guy without the ability to go in there and now again, obviously you have to play 17 games a year. You don't get to pick and choose. I understand that if guys are ready or not. So I understand that, but at least if you put a veteran in there, you're more likely to have somebody in there who at least has been there, done that, and at least, even if it's not to a great degree, at least knows a little more about the game at the NFL level to know how to handle certain things and how to navigate certain things, and not put a guy back there who's going to be running for his life and not only running for his life, but unable to actually develop his internal processing clock with regard to going through his reads and not getting stuck on the first guy, with regard to knowing how to utilize pocket movement, with regard to, knowing when to throw the ball away or check it down or blah, 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 blah. So I just, again, I was not a Drake May fan, but I certainly think he's better capable than what he's been able to show in New England the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're gonna finish. I'm gonna look through just to make sure we didn't miss anything here. I don't think we did in terms of Cowboys suck. Is there anything there? Anything?
Brandon, go ahead if you want.
Yeah, I mean, oh Lord,
You like how I said, "Is there anything there?" Because I don't think there's anything to talk about. But
yeah, I
whatever.
wish there was, but I mean, what do you expect when you trade away your best defensive player because you can't get a deal done because your owner is a stubborn old man?
This is all about Jerry Jones.
Yep, it's all about Jerry Jones, and then I'm not just all about Jerry Jones, but also it's just it's ridiculous that they seem to think that they have the pieces there to win because Jerry Jones still believes that they can win, which is hilarious. I mean, listen, I understand that you want to believe that, but you have to call a spade a spade. Your team is trash. I mean, there's no running game, as to be expected. Duh. You got rid of your 1,000-yard running back last season.
You're giving 31 to the Bears.
Also, as your line deteriorates, your running game's automatically going to regress. Just common sense.
Yeah, your line is terrible, and you didn't do anything to really fix it. You just let all the old guys, all the old guard, just walk. The
defense looks dead. The defense looks dead. That was my reaction.
The defense is letting Caleb Williams just throw pretty much prayer balls and like leaving guys wide open that I could throw touchdowns to. There was one touchdown. It was like 4th and goal where the Bears scored. There was nobody around DJ Moore. There was nobody within 15 yards of him in the back of the end zone. I'm like, bro, where is the coverage? It's like, I mean, I even said it. I said it before the season started. I said, does Dallas have a defense? No. Do they have an offensive line? No. Do they have a running back? No. And guess what? And we said the same thing all year. It does not matter if they have Lamb and a good wide receiver too. Because you know what Dak Prescott has had pretty much his whole career in Dallas? A good wide receiver 1 and a 2. You know what he's won in Dallas in 10 years? Nothing. So,
Did he seriously miss that field goal? Are you freaking kidding? I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm so done with this football game. Please, for the love of God.
Do you know what bothers me the most about we're not even Cowboys fans. You know what bothers me about Cowboys people?
What gave it away?
The thing that bothers me the most about the Cowboys is how delusional their fan base is every year. Oh, we got CeeDee Lamb. Oh, we got George Pickens. Oh, Dak Prescott had an MVP year 2 years ago before he got hurt. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, where's your defense? Where's Micah Parsons that you traded away? Where's your running back? Where's your offensive line? You don't have anything that is needed to win a football game, let alone win multiple football games, let alone win a playoff game, and let alone win a Super Bowl. So shut your stupid ass up.
Really quick, does Kenny Clark make a difference for this team?
No. And the fact that Dallas fans thought that Kenny Clark would be a good enough replacement for an edge rusher, a speed edge rusher, an elite speed edge rusher, the fact that you think that Kenny Clark is that guy is ridiculous. Kenny Clark had 1 sack, I think, last year. He is washed. He had 7 the year before. So even if this year he has 6, 7, 8 sacks, where's the rest of the defensive line? They don't get any pressure on the quarterback whatsoever. None. They have one of the worst trenches in football. And where do you win most of your games in football? In the trenches. They don't have an offensive line and they don't have a defensive line. So you know what that means? LLLLL all season long. So I don't care if you have Dak Prescott throwing for 5,000 yards. They have nothing else. And Dak Prescott today against the Bears defense, you know what he looked like? Utter trash. So guess what? Bye, Dallas. Your season's over. I don't care. It's been 3 weeks. Your season is done. Goodbye. Good riddance. You suck. Thank you for playing, but go home, regroup. First of all, tell Jerry to sell the team, and then maybe we'll talk again in maybe 10, 15 years.
Really quick, Packers-Cowboys next Sunday night.
Packers, next question.
In Dallas. Scoop, anything you want to add?
Does anyone, whenever Brandon's yelling, does anyone have to remind themselves that it's not at them because it feels like he's yelling right at you?
Honestly, it feels like Brandon's just yelling right at Jerry Jones, which makes sense. So,
I have more common sense than the entire Dallas Cowboy fan base, which is insanity.
I mean, if that bar were any lower, I'd catch my foot on it. My foot doesn't come up on that bar.
Oh man.
okay, but yeah. So on the Dallas side of things, it is impressively difficult to, if you're Dak Prescott, to complete 78% of your passes and still throw two picks and still get sacked twice.
Yep.
So basically, yeah, he can throw the ball a bunch and get it to a receiver a bunch, but when he doesn't, oh my God, it's a disaster if you're a Dallas fan. I add if you're a Dallas fan because I think it's gorgeous, but I mean, then you brought in Joe Milton for 5 attempts. He completed 3 of them,
and he threw a horrible pick in the red zone.
Well, I was just gonna say, but even one of his 2 incompletions was a friggin' pick.
In the red zone, it was unbelievably bad.
Yeah,
unbelievably bad
in the red zone. But I'm going to throw some more numbers at you. George Pickens, 9 targets, came in with 5 receptions, barely half.
Mm-hmm.
Tolbert, whatever, 6 targets, came in with 3, again, half. So that's 2 guys, and then Turpin and Flournoy, 2 of 3. So that's kind of hard to you can either be positive or cynical about that. And then of course you had the lost fumble by Javonte Williams. So again, I'll say this again. You guys know what I've said in the past, how I've been particularly challenging on Caleb Williams. The fact that your team made Caleb Williams go 68% completions, 4 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks, 143 passer rating.
Yeah.
For a guy who there's rumors that his own team wants him benched for Tyson Bagent or whatever the hell his name is. There's rumors that his own team wants him benched, and you let him go out there and look like I almost said Vince McMahon, Jim McMahon 2.0. So the fact that again, pretty much everything that Brandon just said about Dallas, I echo pretty much all of it. I definitely localize the blame. This is probably the team most this year that any blame that I have on them, I localize to the ownership and the front office, and I don't put on the coaching staff hardly at all, because it is not Brian Schottenheimer's job that he's coaching a job he should have never had.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is not to disrespect what Schottenheimer or his father or anybody in that family has done in the game of football. There's a lot of good football people in that family, but just being a good football coach 15, 20 years ago when there was a Bush in office doesn't translate to the fact that you can coach the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East as the head coach today, especially when you got Jerry, another J word that I won't say on air, breathing down your neck, presumably 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that's all I got to say about Dallas. I don't believe shit in them. And again, I'm astonished. And I will say this. I commend the fans who are at least waking up to the fact that nothing's going to change down there in Arlington until Jerry sells the team, because for a while it felt like, delusion Dallas is, kind of what it felt like down there. Fans are at least becoming a little less insufferable about it now. So kudos to them. My hat's off to you. You guys, I respect.
Yeah. I'm sorry about your season. It's going to be rough. All right. Here's Sean Payton on Bo Nix's throwing today.
It was close,
All right, here we go. Hang on.
The third and long flea flicker was close, So, sometimes if it's a double move, your eyes can betray you a little bit. But he's I thought he's throwing it real accurately, putting the ball in good places, protecting it. Look, the third and long.
So there's Sean Payton.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, because my headphone come out for a second. So was that Peyton about Knicks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad that he's sticking.
He coaches it. He coaches in the state of Colorado, right? So we all know the story about Colorado.
Yeah, I'm glad.
What in the world, Kansas City?
I'm
What
glad.
is that?
I'm
Look
glad
at this.
Hold on. Oh yeah, I'm gonna see it.
Hang on.
I'm glad that he sticks up for his quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, me too.
but sometimes you gotta say in your press conference, yeah, we didn't have a good game overall today. We like as an offense, we don't blame Bo, but all encompass it.
Oh my absolute flip!
I will see it. Hold on. I mean, 4th and 5. This is gotta be hilarious. I'll see it.
Yeah, you'll see it in a second.
This is stupid. This is just dumb football.
Listening to that reminded me of listening to Aaron Boone defend Anthony Volpe.
It's like sometimes you got to just admit when your guy, not admit it, but when your team and your guy has not played well, your quarterback has not played well. I mean, he's got to say it. We did not play well as a whole. Like that's just, it is what it is. Where is Russell Wilson throwing that ball on 1st and goal? I like, what's crazy is the Giants can score here and the game's not over. That's ridiculous.
So stupid.
That was like the shortest Hail Mary pass in history
because the attitude was like he was like just saying a Hail Mary as he was throwing it, but usually a Hail Mary pass goes all the way down the field, and that went barely 20 yards.
I mean, Giants fans are saying a Hail Mary every time Russell Wilson takes the field. So,
I don't know. I don't know if they're saying enough because just based on where their franchise, that was literally closer to 2 Chief players.
Russell Wilson getting an intentional grounding. You gotta love that. What are we doing, bro? Like, there's pressure, and yet instead of just throwing it like near a guy, like far enough away where it's not gonna get picked off, but near a guy, he throws it to the fans in the tunnel. Like, why, bro?
Did I seriously just watch him try and run up the middle?
Are we done? Are we done with both of these teams? Because I'm starting to feel done.
I mean,
are we talking about the Chiefs and the Giants? Or are we talking about the Cowboys and the Bears?
Chiefs and the Giants.
Why would you ask a 40-year-old Russell Wilson to run up the middle?
That's what I just said.
I know. I'm just saying.
We're reiterating here.
Like, I can't fathom that. You're asking.
Here we go. 4th and goal. 4th and goal. Oh, Jesus Christ!
What?
I mean, even with the Chiefs pretty much going to win this game, I guess. Like, can we say that they played well? Hell no. They looked like garbage. Bro, Russell Wilson just does not care about football anymore. He just throws the thing up into the stands and hopes a fan catches it before his own teammates do. It's ridiculous watching him throw a football.
I mean, to be fair, other than Malik Neighbors, who else does he got?
Wan'Dale Robinson's not bad, but Wan'Dale Robinson is not a. He's a wide receiver.
That 4th and goal is one of the worst things I've ever seen, bro.
Are you
guys on it? I don't know if
you guys are on it. He looked like he was trying to throw it through the uprights.
Could you?
I think he was closer to that than any of his receivers.
Bro,
give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I can plug this in.
That throw on 4th and goal is just as bad as Geno Smith throwing the ball away on 4th and 5 in the Raiders.
I was just thinking about that. I was trying to remember what game that was that I saw that.
That was the last time we did kind of like a quote unquote watch along for games, and it was that.
Oh my god, bro!
Thank you for reminding me of what game that was because I could not for the life of me call to mind what teams that was.
Kansas City. I don't feel good about it at all. Scoop, no. Are you feeling good? I mean, not good, but are you feeling like okay?
No, I know what you mean. Now, there was a statistic that I saw coming into this week. It was basically that I think it was 4 teams that have started 0-3 in the last couple of decades have gone on to make the playoffs. And then if they start 1-2, it goes up to, I think it's like 28% of the teams or something like that. This team is literally only not 0-3 because they played the gimpiest Giants team I think I've seen since what's his face? Ben McAdoo was coach.
Yeah, since late
stage. Ben McAdoo, bro. Yeah.
But I'd love to apologize for Giants fans and say I'm sorry for bringing up that name, but I'm not. But So again, this team is going to be 1-2, but I'm looking at them as an 0-3 team. And I mentioned that basically the 0-3 thing is all but a death knell to a team's season. And I'm looking right now at the other teams that hit that level. Except this doesn't show me the records, of course. But again, and I actually didn't. I knew that there was a certain cutoff where like and this usually meant sayonara samurai to the end of your season, or at least the end of your playoff hopes. No, of course, nothing now is showing me the flipping things.
I'm trying to look at it. Wait one moment.
Yeah, because it's driving me nuts now. Because it's like the one thing I'm trying to see, and somehow it's not coming up on literally.
Somehow it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, why is there not a record on any of these things?
Okay. Dolphins 0-3, Jets 0-3.
Neither of those surprised me. Go
on. Texans and Titans.
Yeah, again, neither of those surprised me. We've got the Giants, definitely not surprising me. Saints, not surprising me. Yeah, okay, so none of the teams that are going to be 0-3 are particular shocks. The only one that's going to surprise me that's not 0-3 is the Chiefs, but again, that's I'll say
the Giants.
Yeah, I'll say 1-2 in name only.
I'm gonna pull this up. Do you have anything else on? Brandon, go ahead. Sorry.
The only team I think we kind of whiffed on before the season started was we also the Texans should win the AFC South.
We didn't know the Colts would be what they are.
Well, yeah, even if you're a Jones fan like I am, I mean, how many? I'll say more optimistic on Jones than like I am. I don't think any of us could have seen him going to the Colts. And even if you told me he became a version of himself out the gate, absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's I think the only team that I would say that. And that's again the only team that I would say that really shocks me as to starting 3-0. The only other one that kind of surprises me is the 49ers, but again, that's
mostly.
Yeah. The Niners just don't look good. I mean, I know a lot of that's injuries too, but even in week 1 when they were healthy against the Seahawks, they looked terrible.
Right, but injuries are just part of the Seahawks. Sorry. Injuries are just part of the 49er DNA at this point. They have been under Shanahan for the last 10 years. You know my rant about the 49ers. I'm not gonna do again tonight. I'm still working on the coaching tree thingy.
Yeah, we got a few weeks.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's like the only other. But everything else after this week is kind of where I would have expected it to be record wise, and also with regard to the order of the standings, and because you've got. Now the Bills have a bit of a pull away on everybody else. The Chargers have a bit of a pull away on everybody else. The only other team I could say is sort of the Bucs. The only other team that's kind of a mild surprise for me, and I mean this in like a negative way, is the Broncos being 1-2. But they also have a positive point differential, which is kind of rare.
Yeah, for the Broncos, Scoop, I feel like they're just kind of in preseason mode right now in September. But yeah,
like when what's crazy is about when I'm looking at now here's the real test for the Chiefs. Two of the next 3 weeks are Baltimore and Detroit.
Are you excited for what's in the middle? Monday Night Football against the Jags.
I mean that could be interesting, but I don't think it's gonna. I think the Chiefs probably win that game.
I didn't think that game was. But see, here's the thing. Let's take stock of what just happened in the last 15 seconds. Who would have thought, starting this season, that Week 5 on Monday Night Football between the Chiefs and the Jags would have been interesting? We didn't know if Liam Cohen could coach, and we didn't know what to make of Trevor Lawrence as a QB. The only thing we knew that was going to be interesting about the Jags was having Travis Hunter. The fact that could be an interesting competitive football game between the Chiefs, who were just in the Super Bowl, at least allegedly. I think some of them forgot to show up. But and the Jaguars in Week 5 on Monday Night Football. I don't think
the Jags are still boring. The Jags are still boring, though. Is the issue?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. How do you have the former first overall pick quarterback, who everyone was telling us was the next Peyton Manning? How do you have that? And the first two-way player in decades in the NFL. How do you have both of those things and a new head coach, and you're still so?
You're just boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got. I think for for today. Scoop, do you wanna run us through what's kind of big in the next week in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, sure. I'm good for that. I would. Is there a particular place in which you want me to start, or
No, please go however you wish. You can start with your Yanks. You can do whatever you wish.
Yeah. I'll do the Yanks. I think probably the most uncomfortable part of this coming week. Now, again, this team has 6 games left. We all know that they're still nipping at the heels of Toronto. Some people have packed it in and banked us as already settling for a wild card. I have. Oh, hell, I really got to move my laptop back when I do this show. I have not. This team's got 3 games left against the White Sox and 3 games left against the Orioles. Call me crazy, but I believe that team that should be a 6-0 run. That's what I am operate on the word should. That does not mean it's going to be. We've all watched this team for the last 5 months. That being said, and then you've got the Toronto Blue Jays, who are the team which they're chasing. A whole bunch of Yankees fans now, whether they'll admit it or not, are going to be Red Sox fans over the next 72 hours because the Blue Jays are playing the Red Sox over the next few days. So for the love of God, Boston, please do us a favor. I can't believe I just had to say those words. It makes me want to be sick. But a bunch of us are going to be rooting for Boston the next 3 games against Toronto. And God bless them if they are able to do us a solid. Wouldn't surprise me if they deliberately roll over just to screw us over because it's Boston. So that is up there with I do want to mention real quick. I kind of brushed over the game today. Yankees ended up winning 7-1. I was very confused because I wasn't watching the game at the end, and my phone said 7-1 in 10 innings, and I was like,
yeah,
okay,
that's what I saw too. I was like, what in the world?
Don't end by 6 runs, especially with the away team winning. I mean, they couldn't do that if the home team.
Well,
won, but you know what I mean.
That's actually crazy to think about for a second. To think about that the Yankees actually won an extra inning game on the road this year.
Yeah, well, it's and when you had to have the stupid, which I'm so grateful now that now that's done. We don't have to see another Manfred Mann situation until 2026. Praise the Lord, because I am so sick and tired of that crap in the 10th inning. But that being said, Ben Rice is going to be a problem in the AL East for years to come. I can already tell. This guy went up there. He's barely gotten his teeth cut in Major League Baseball. Goes up there, hits a go-ahead grand salami, top of the 10th, and then another run comes in as well. Cam Schlittler, it's called Camden Yards for a reason. Cam Schlittler took over the ballpark today. So again, that's I'll pivot to the rest of Major League Baseball. But I did want to talk about that for a little bit. But again, coming around the rest of the Major League Baseball, the Tigers continue to be on their decline. The Guardians continue to sneak up or to slide up. I sneakily do not want to play the Guardians early in this playoffs if somehow it were to work out that way. I think that Cleveland matches up very well against us. I think that we have not played particularly well in Progressive Field or whatever it's called now.
Is it still Progressive Field? I think it is.
We did well. The good thing is we did beat them last year when it mattered. So,
give me that one more time.
No, I was gonna say the good thing is what we have on our side historically, not historically, but last year we beat them when it mattered.
But we also don't get to hit off of Sportsbook Class A this year, so
that's a good one.
So we'll see how we go with that one. The Mariners, which I will tip my cap to the Seattle fans in here. The Mariners look at that they've won 9 of their last 10. They look at least as if they're set to clinch the AL West. Houston's still there, but they're now 3 games back, and it looks increasingly like Seattle's going to be able to wrap this up, particularly because they've been zooming the last couple of weeks. The Astros have kind of been stumbling, and now, of course, they've just lost one of their biggest offensive pieces, which, I hate seeing as I've said multiple times, I hate seeing anybody get injured, especially right going into the playoffs. The NL pretty much all wrapped up when it comes to divisions. Phillies have taken the NL East. The Brewers have taken the NL Central, and the West, as per usual, the Dodgers. Actually, the only division not 100% wrapped up yet but the Padres are 3 games back, and both teams have kind of been treading water, so not a ton of evidence suggests that the Padres will be able to overtake the Dodgers in the final days. But again, I'm really excited for this postseason. I know it feels like people say this most years, but I do genuinely believe it this year, and I don't think this was actually the case the last couple of years, where this really feels like anybody's ball game. This felt like anybody's ball game a couple years ago, at least in the NL when the Diamondbacks ultimately won. But even the Rangers that year kind of felt like the team of destiny a little bit. Kind of had that feeling to them. And then 2022, the Astros winning it legally this time. It didn't really surprise a whole lot of people. This is one of the years where I look at this team. I can make an argument for about 4 or 5 teams in each conference. They're not called conferences, but they should be. For 4 or 5 teams in each conference to be able to win this thing. I can make the case for almost at least half the teams that are going to be in that they could be able to pull this thing off.
Yeah,
and
honestly,
honestly,
no, go ahead. Finish up, Scoop.
No, the last thing I'm going to say is, honestly, even teams that haven't even clinched yet, I'm really fired up as a baseball fan for this postseason. And for anybody who's telling me that I should, be pessimistic on the Yankees or cynical about the Yankees, why? What does a championship team have that the Yankees don't? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Brandon, do you have anything else around Major League Baseball?
The craziest thing is right now, the Mets are seriously. I mean, what are they? They are tied at this point for that last wild card. But I think if it ended today, I think the Mets would get in. I think the Mets are something like that. The Mets are officially they're on the verge of not even making seriously not making the postseason with a week left. So if they really don't make it in, forget about what the Yankees kind of did last year in the summer. Forget about what the Yankees did kind of this year, and with the second game lead. The Mets would have probably the biggest choke in MLB history, given where they were with the division early in the summer, and they completely pissed it all away to the Phillies, and now they might just piss away a playoff spot. So, the Mets are having just an insane free fall right now, and I think that's huge, and not a lot of people are realizing it, but that's where things sit right now. Everybody talks about us not winning division. Depends what Boston does to Toronto and how we handle it going forward. But everybody talks about us not winning division, but when you look deeper, we have the second best record in the American League, and Detroit, their pitching is falling apart. Their hitting doesn't really scare me. The Mariners have a great staff. But we guess what happens with Brian Wu. Brian Wu exited the game early yesterday. Their lineup doesn't scare me. I mean, Cal Raleigh is pretty much a home run or bust hitter.
Heater, bro. Heater. Looking good.
He does look good. But I just think, it's 1 for 4 in the playoffs is really in the postseason is not going to help you unless that one home run is a 3-4 run home run. He doesn't, that batting average and whatnot, and kind of him being really or at least somewhat of a 3 true outcomes hitter is kind of worrisome to me.
Mahomes got player of the game?
That's typical media bias with Mahomes.
Jesus Christ.
Anybody that watched that game, honestly, the player of the game for the Chiefs should be Russell Wilson. But just in the American League, like the Astros don't look like the Astros of old. I said Detroit. I said now Houston, now Seattle. I mean Toronto. Boston doesn't really worry me. I mean, they're starting to slip a little bit late here, starting to fade a little bit late. Cleveland, I know what you're saying, Scoop, but Cleveland historically we own them. I'm not really. Usually the teams that the Yankees do historically well against, the Yankees always find a way to beat, even in the postseason. So I mean, I know it's a different team this year, but I still think we match up pretty well with Cleveland. I just think the only team that really gives the Yankees problems, and it's the one team that's been giving the Yankees problems all year, is Toronto. I think Toronto they're the team that they just grind out at bats nonstop. They make every pitcher they face work. their bullpen is not good, but their starters are good enough to where they can get deep into a game and also still beat you hitting wise. They might be up in a game 7-0 late in the postseason and end up winning 7-6 because their bullpen's bad, but they did enough hitting early on and working counts and whatnot for it not to matter. The thing is, with the way the Yankee starters kind of are, if they were to face the Blue Jays and the Blue Jays can make guys work, if you get to the Yankees bullpen, early on, it's gonna be a long night because that bullpen is not good. The Yankees bullpen is really not good. So no, go ahead.
The thing that I would say is more, and I said this. I don't remember if I said this on WTS or I said it on here, but the outcome that I don't want, and I know it's a fairly likely outcome, but I'm gonna say the one outcome I don't want is having to go to Toronto in a first round series, because presumably we would face Toronto if we went as the wild card team. And I know right now it looks like the likeliest scenario, but that's the one scenario that I think we would be up against the biggest wall. Not only because of lacking home field advantage, but because I don't want to play. Like I think our guys would have issues physically, potentially playing on that stupid AstroTurf that I can't believe that teams still actually have. Yeah. Understand the benefit there, and of course, obviously, we've seen how many times this year have we seen a ball take a bad hop, a bad throw up, a bad bounce, whatever. You think that's not going to happen even more on an unnatural surface like that? I already have pre-nightmares about watching a Volpe double or triple clutch something that took up on a bad hop, and then throwing it from Toronto to Inuktitut because or not Inuktitut, I forgot the name of the place the place where they speak Inuktitut, excuse me, but it's just Nunavut. That's where I was thinking. But anyway, the point being that it just that's I think I don't think any of these are a nightmare scenario for the Yankees, but I think that's the closest to it. I also don't love the idea of going to Seattle because, again, power bats typically don't play up well in Seattle, and obviously the Yankees have a lot of that. I know the Yankees have played Seattle decently this season, but again, those are the two things that I'd rather not have happen. Obviously, you got to play where you got to play, when you got to play, and who you got to play. Just my personal opinion. I think those are the two matchups that favor the Yankees the least.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
All right. Do you guys want to do some funny post-credit scenes?
Yeah, give me something.
All right, here we go. The first one is from China. China.
Oh, dear Lord Almighty. What is this?
Basically, you have to pay money for toilet paper, or you have to watch an ad to get toilet paper in the bathroom.
Wait, please say that again, because I don't think I processed you correctly.
Okay, so basically this clip is you have to scan a QR code on your phone. So basically, as you use the toilet, you have to go up to the paper towel rack or whatever, and you have to put a QR code, and you either have to pay to get toilet paper, or you can watch an ad to get toilet paper.
That has to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That doesn't surprise me because China's always doing weird stuff. I mean, somehow they're always one of the leading countries in the world, but they're always doing stuff like that where I'm like, wow.
I mean, for a country that's run by the CCP, that's a pretty capitalistic thing to do.
Yeah.
That. Brandon sent me this one.
Dumbest thing I've ever seen.
You might rethink that scoop after seeing this one. Brandon sent me this one this week, and it got on the list. Here we go, Brandon. Go ahead and read this.
Yeah, hold on. Good. Send it to me again. Yeah, there it is. Oh man, I mean, that's just interesting. Man robs bank to escape his wife and was given house arrest instead of jail time. Yeah, I remember sending that. That's like, can you imagine that? Like, I mean, there's no way. Like, I almost want to believe that that's a made up headline because, I mean, imagine that being imagine arresting the guy and then you go to interrogate or not interrogate him or whatever it is and you ask him like what his motive was or why he did it and you go and the guy answers, well, I want to get away from my wife. Okay, so you know what? We're gonna give you house arrest.
You're gonna be with your wife all the time.
Stuck. Oh my god.
Scoop, anything on that one?
What? Whoa! I don't know what that was. It's like a goat. Yeah. I still don't consider that. I still don't consider that as ridiculous as the one we just saw before.
Yeah.
But, and honestly, I'm surprised to see the description say a Kansas man because that just smells so Florida man. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that Gator thing. It's like that Gator thing last week.
Yeah.
The Gator in Pennsylvania. It's like that's not how's it not a Florida thing? You know?
Yeah, but here's what I want to know is what's with the mask was it the actual mask the guy was wearing when he was trying?
No, I think they just used it as a photo to describe the situation.
Okay, because if that's the actual mask the guy was wearing, that he looks as ridiculous as he's being.
Okay, I'm just gonna speed run some of these. This one's pretty great. Here you go, Brandon. Go ahead and read that one. Have fun with that one.
A lot of fun. Man arrested for setting cafe on fire because they ran out of mayo for his sandwich.
Oh, I've actually seen that one.
Oh my god! I mean, what was the guy by any chance Will Levis?
that was my first question when I saw this.
Yeah, because honestly, man, I mean, like is anything ever really that serious that you have to resort to that? Like,
no, especially not mayo.
Setting cafe on fire because they ran out of mayo for his sandwich. Okay, I'm definitely not asking the right question here, but it's a question that I think needs to be asked. What else was on the sandwich?
That's actually a good point. I have no idea. That's a good question. See, Scoop has a different mind right here. We love it.
Because why do I feel like based on this like attitude and this crash out, why do I feel like the sandwich was just straight up mayo?
It was just straight mayo, nothing else. Just like maybe some cheese, maybe some ham.
No, not even cheese. I'm getting a vibe from this guy that it was just a straight up mayo sandwich.
So it's a mayo witch, okay?
A mayo witch, yeah. I've never even called it that before, but yeah.
No, I don't either. But I mean, at that point, that's all you can call it. You can't call it a ham and cheese sandwich. It's got to be a mayo witch. It's all a mayo.
Well, because I'm reading the caption now. The customer reportedly left to buy gasoline, returned to the bar, asked again about mayo, and then set the counter ablaze. Quick reaction from staff prevented major damage, and the police arrested the suspect shortly after. And what I love is the first comment says, "Welcome in the South." Meanwhile, this happened in Spain.
Yeah.
Fair play.
You know, it's funny that must have been somebody from the South because the reading level down there is not too great.
Hey, watch it. I live down here. Our state just had one of its best years in recent memory.
I get
That's
it.
a positive, I guess.
I get it, but Scoop, you're an upstate New York transplant. It's different.
Transplant.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. Next up, we're just gonna go through the funny ones that I found throughout the week.
Give us
them out the way. Give it out the way. All right, here you go, Brandon. Enjoy.
Oh boy.
I'm afraid to even look now.
Let's see. Oh, this is wow.
Something doesn't even sound right.
Yeah, an all-female nightclub shut down after just one night because not a single bottle of liquor was sold.
None of my friends must have been there.
But I kind of get why, because no guys are buying it for the women.
Yeah.
Oh,
So exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
get it now.
That was smart. I did not come up with that.
It took me a second, but I remember. When I saw that story a couple days ago, whatever it was. I'm like, okay, now I finally figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I would have completely missed. I mean, I did completely miss that. I'm just looking. I was trying to figure out because literally the people that I'm looking at least half of this thing, literally does not look like real people. I don't know why. It looks like they look like
It does look like AI a little bit, like this whole thing.
Either
Yeah.
AI or like what are they called in the store? The fake plastic people.
I have no idea. But mannequins?
Thank you, mannequins. Holy smokes!
They're not.
Great.
They're not plastic. But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Except not always. Maybe sometimes they are.
I thought they were.
Okay, are you guys ready for the next one?
Giddy up. Let's see.
This one's more for Scoop because I know Brandon and I have talked about this on a good amount of occasions. So Scoop, you can go ahead and enjoy that one. You can go ahead and read that one if you wish.
Here, hang on a second here. My screen bugged out.
You're okay.
And not one part of this sentence surprises me.
God,
Should I
man.
read
Yes,
it?
please
Yeah,
go
ready,
for
go.
it.
23 million Americans believe chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Yes. Brandon and I have talked about this on many occasions.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'll say this. In a country where, for a while, they literally are. I think this was 20, 30 years ago. I don't remember when it was, but a quarter-pound burger was selling better than a third-pound burger because they thought that 4 was a bigger number than 3, so they thought there was more.
I do remember this.
I swear.
I do remember this. Yeah, I know about this. It's a real story.
The genealogy or the family tree between, or the Venn diagram of the family between those people and the people who are now believing this, that has to be concentric circles.
Humans have not evolved too far past cavemen, and there's a big problem. Like, honestly, if this many people believe they believe in this fact, I said with the whole quarter pounder burger thing. If you believe in that, it shows you how many people should not be allowed to procreate.
No, it's and when you think that these are the people who are I'm not going to finish that sentence, but we all know where I'm going with it. And I'll just say, if you pray for this country. If you don't pray, then find something else. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
God.
Okay, we're gonna speed through the rest of this. This one's pretty good. Here you go, Brandon. Enjoy this one.
Oh yeah. This is good.
In the flying flippity flop.
Every shrimp tested in England's rivers carry traces of cocaine. Oh yeah. So we have cocaine bear. Can we have cocaine shrimp next?
Yes.
Is that a thing? Can we make that a movie? Is it possible?
Cocaine shrimp. Why does it sound like a band name?
It would be pretty good.
God, that would go so hard.
Welcome to the stage, Cocaine Shrimp.
Oh my, bro! I would love that. I would love a band to have that.
Every shrimp. It's
like a hardcore rock band.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Who's ready to get coked up and tripped up tonight? Woo!
Oh my God.
Somewhere in the UK right now, Eric Clapton's snorting shrimp.
Oh man.
With the rest of Fleetwood Mac.
Like, how is that even possible? How is that even possible?
Well, hang on.
Well, then again, don't they kind of treat like drugs as like they treat it differently over there or whatever it is?
Hang on. Researchers also found ketamine, Xanax, Valium, and even banned pesticides, showing how everyday products seep into ecosystems. While concentrations were low, scientists warned that invisible chemical pollution could pose long-term risks to wildlife. So the only thing that I can come up with is that somehow the waste from humans ended up in the same part
I
of
mean, yeah, but still.
That's a lot of waste. It's a lot of illegal waste.
No, but like I'm saying, like that's the only thing that I can like come up with and conceive in my mind because it's like because like again, it was the one thing when it was the Coke, but like now I'm looking at ketamine, Xanax, Valium, like
It's ketamine shrimp.
like how else are these things getting ingested by so many freaking shrimp?
Oh my god!
Like I can't believe I just had to actually say that sentence.
Like
that,
these two shrimps are hanging out and they're like, "Hey, I tried some cocaine. You want some?"
who are the shrimp's cocaine dealer? I want to know.
It's humans.
Okay, someone needs to put that in our. If anyone's still doing the quotes thing,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
the shrimp
Yeah,
cocaine
Discord.
where the
dealer?
shrimp's cocaine dealer has to go down in that list.
Oh my god! And last one pissed us all off the last 2 weeks. Adam Silver saying the NBA is a highlight sport. So if you can't afford streaming, just watch the highlights on YouTube.
See, I never saw this before.
Isn't that awful?
It's terrible. That's
here,
all.
let me watch it again. Or read it again, rather. This is very much a highlights-based sport. Silver's comments were twisted from the, quote, very much a highlight-based sport, true, into something more like all that matters is the highlights, which is not what he said, and most certainly is not what he intended. According to Dan Shanoff, sports business managing editor via The Athletic. There we go.
It's bad.
Well, there's a first quote saying, y'all saying listen to the full quote. The full quote was his defense for making broadcast deals so expensive that millions of fans can't watch or can't afford to watch games, i.e., well, they can catch the highlights afterwards. Great guy. That was one of the commenters, but he basically and then the next comment says, are we sure he likes basketball?
Yeah.
He seems to like
point.
basketball. He seems to like basketball about as much as Nikola Jokic.
I mean, yeah.
Kind of true. Kind of true. And then obviously we're waiting for the Clippers stuff.
But I mean,
Yeah.
technically, we're getting towards that way with like kind of with Red Zone, no, where like Red Zone's all highlights. Like,
Red Zone's not really all highlights. It's more the commercials that are pissing people off. Red Zone is fine. It's just the minute-long commercials are super annoying.
yeah,
That makes sense. I will say the one positive I can say for NBA, and I don't remember if I said this on here, but I said it to somebody, is that finally, so down where I live in the Gulf Coast, we were supposed to get
Hells.
We were supposed to get the Pelicans games last year. We didn't because of a deal change. The Gulf Sports Network is now going to be carrying them on streaming starting this season. So I'll finally get to watch Pels games a lot more often this year. So I'm very excited about that.
Hopefully that goes well for you because hasn't been too great over the last few years.
No, absolutely no. I'm sure the Pels are going to be trash again, but I'm just saying that like there's something about being able to actually watch your team on local games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Brandon watching the Knicks on, or not the Knicks, the Nets.
Hang on.
Oh, don't you ever wish a Knicks fandom on me?
No, the Nets on Yes Network. No, it's kind of like Brandon watching the Nets on Yes Network.
Yeah,
where it's just awful.
That's why it's great being a Yankees fan because you already get yes.
God bless Brandon because for those who don't know, I did used to root for the Nets a while ago, and the fact that he still does, God bless him. And no, I didn't root for them I didn't stop rooting for them because they were bad. If I did that, I wouldn't have become a freaking Pelicans fan.
Yeah, fair play. Do you like your mascot?
Our mascot freaks me out.
like the baby.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he freaks me out. But to be honest, and for my fellow Flyers fans out there, that's hard to say. For my fellow Flyer fans out there, also in the very beginning, Gritty freaked me out. So
I love Gritty. Gritty's great.
I love Gritty now too. But I just mascots in general. Actually, real quick, we'll go back to baseball real quick. Did I ever tell y'all my Citi Field story?
No, please.
So I was with I think it was when I was because I went to David Wright's last home game. And I'm pretty sure it was at that game. I went to Citi Field so much during my time in college, and we were going in, and I forget what it was, but there were some like banners that they were waving like over and it wasn't like the regular ones, like they had like new ones up there, and Mr. and Mrs. Met were out there taking pictures and blah 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 blah. So I was like, oh, I got to get a picture taken with. I don't remember if it was two of them or one of them, but but it was at least one of them. And I went, took a picture. I had my roommate at the time was a big Met fan, so I was like, hey, can you take my picture, bud? And sure enough, because again, this is a massive friggin' baseball head. For those who haven't met me in real life, I am not smooth on my feet by any stretch of the imagination. Go to lean on Mr. or Mrs. Met, whatever it was, and they go to take a picture of me. Boom, Mr. Met or Miss Met, unfortunately, goes right down.
That's awesome.
Oh, jeez.
Knocked that poor thing over like a bowling pin.
You know what? So like the Mets is supposed to be what, the Metropolitans, but they're in Queens.
Yeah, the New York Metropolitans. Yeah,
and then the other part is, why is the Met just a huge baseball? Like, why is your mascot a freaking baseball?
New York sports is not creative with their mascots. In fact, they don't even have one. I don't think the Rangers don't have one, and the Nets don't have one. The Knicks don't have one. Yankees used to for like 3 years in like the 70s. They don't have one now, or early 80s, whatever it was. They don't.
I mean, at this point, the Yankees mascot is their fans.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't the Nets used to have a mascot? That was really weird.
We had the Brooklyn Knight, but my God, that was a failed experiment.
Oh my God, this thing is amazing.
The Brooklyn Knight made no sense. The Brooklyn Knight is so
the Brooklyn Knight is one of the best dumb mascots on the planet. I sent it in the chat.
All right.
No. That's not even him like fully like dressed up. I don't think. Like, there's another one of him like during like game night, like the first night in Brooklyn in like 2012 when he came out, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy looks like he should be a rave DJ. Like it's
my God, dude, it's so good.
Hang on. It's all freaking goofy right now, and oh dear God.
Yeah, I don't understand what that was supposed to symbolize or why that was even a mascot, but that was just to show how bad our team was, that we couldn't come up with a creative mascot.
This looks like a combination between something I would see at an LMFAO concert and something out of freaking Star Wars.
It looks like he should be a rave DJ. Like,
I've never been to a rave, so.
Like, I mean, neither have I, but I know what it looks like. So it's
my God, Scoop! Do you remember the Browns mascot?
Oh Jesus! Oh no!
Which one? Because they've had several out of the years.
Are you talking about like the Keebler elf looking thing?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Because they had a dog mascot for a while.
Yeah, that made sense. But not the elf. The elf.
Do you even know what his name is?
I'm trying. I can't. It's not Brownie, is it?
Yeah, it's Brownie the elf.
Brownie.
It is Brownie the elf. Okay.
Oh man, I don't want to see that derpy looking thing.
I put it in the chat. There's Brownie the elf.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Come on, man.
This looks like a bad Celtics knockoff.
Like, what is that supposed to be? Oh my God.
And also, why did the football doesn't even look like a football? It looks like an almond.
I just don't understand.
Hang on. I gotta send
you.
I
want to find like funny mascots that are on this.
Hang on, I gotta show y'all a picture, because what in the ever loving is this? Here, hang on. If I had to see this, so do y'all.
Let's see what this is.
Hold on.
Holy, what is that? Is that like an anime of the Brownie?
Is that? Is that like their version of Leprechaun horror movie? Like what is that?
It was one of the first search results for Brownie the Elf.
Is this? Well, is this what fans turn into after the Browns lose? They become like homicidal. What is this? What is that? It looks like the Leprechaun From Leprechaun. It looks like the Leprechaun.
Here's this one.
No. You sent me that, Rob. That thing is ridiculous. What is it supposed to be? What is it? Geoduck.
Speedy the Geoduck.
What is that? What is this?
I thought Geoduck was like a Pokemon.
What is that, bro?
Oh my god. I'm laughing so hard I'm crying.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, here comes Shane texting in the chat. What's he gonna say to this? Oh,
Here's Sammy the Trimp.
South End Unit. That looks like a shark. It was more like a shark than a shrimp.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Maybe that's one of the shrimp. That's one of the shrimp. That's one of the shrimp that's on Hook.
We'll do a couple more.
We keep talking at the same time. That looks like one of the shrimp that's on cocaine.
Yeah, that is true. It does look like one of the shrimp that's on cocaine. I apologize. Look at this mysterious fish.
why is that the name of it? They couldn't figure out something else. Mysterious fish.
That's basically the mascot version of the Washington football team.
Jesus.
The Washington football team, the Washington Commanders mascot is a fucking pig.
But guys, am I wrong? Am I wrong for saying that the Pop-Tart mascots would make great mascots? Am I wrong for that?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Here's the fighting orca from Delta State University.
Not orca, okra.
Okra. I don't. Whatever.
Fighting orca would be awesome too.
Yeah, bro. I live in Mississippi. We don't fight okra. We eat them.
I'm trying to figure out. Well, no. See, the next one below that. Why is the Flay Fanatic on? I mean, we don't know what the Flay Fanatic really is, but why is he on there?
How about Freddy Fever from the Indiana Fever?
Why does this look like a nightmarish ripoff of the Toucan Fruit Loops? Like, can someone please tell me what the Toucan from Fruit Loops is doing at a WNBA game, please? I would like to know.
Oh my god!
I love how Shane is talking about the greatest night of his life, and we don't care. We're just throwing mascots in the chat. Here, you get a mascot.
You get a mascot. Here, guess what school this is from?
Is that Purdue?
Yeah, Purdue Pete.
Oh man. I mean, at least I can kind of understand that. It's a
it's Boilermakers.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that one. But why is he got like why does his head look like Jay Leno? I'll never understand.
What the? This is. Do you guys know what Old Miss's? Do you guys know what Old Miss's mascot is?
Yes.
No, I don't.
Oh my!
Scoop Wood, I don't.
Oh God! Why does Old Miss? How does this represent Old Miss in any way? It's the Old Miss land shark.
So what I'm trying to grasp here is it's literally just a non-rostered player. Clearly, it's a non-rostered player in football uniform with a shark head on. That's basically what it is.
Well,
yes.
That's not. Well, I was going to say that's also not that's not really the mascot anymore. It hasn't. That mascot hasn't been in practice, I guess you'd say, since 2021.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Well, because it was he was preceded, I guess, by Rebel the Black Bear, but that was only a temporary mascot who took over the real long-time mascot, which was Colonel Reb, which, was replaced for obvious reasons.
And then here's the last one. Here's Pistol Pete, Oklahoma State.
Oh, see, I like Pistol Pete.
He looks pretty good.
I mean, his face needs work, but I like Pistol Pete.
His
What?
face
Wait.
needs work.
Why does Pistol Pete look like Jason Kelsey?
A little bit. Yeah, he's got a little bit. He's got a little bit of Jason with him, but also his mustache is Travis. So, like,
Yeah, he's basically a Kelsey mashup.
I mean, not gonna lie, if you look close enough, he's basically Trent Grisham. Wearing
Wearing a traffic cone for a hat.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what his face is supposed to be. I mean, the otherwise it's good.
Dude,
I'm glad too.
you know who has really ridiculous mascots? Are minor league baseball teams.
Oh yeah,
That's what I was looking at too. Yeah, minor
Yeah.
league is hilarious.
Can I apply to be the Savannah Bananas mascot? Can I just be a big banana?
Banana.
Banana,
I mean, I would.
No, I said banana.
Bro-nana.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of no, see, like as much as two of my teams don't have mascots, I love that my two other teams have very iconic mascots. The New Jersey
Yeah.
Devil and Swoop. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I'll never forget that the Yankees AAA team used to be the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees.
Mhm.
And they spent the 2012 season. They were renovating PNC Park or whatever they called it at the time. So they were known as the Empire State Yankees, and they played most of their home games in Rochester Frontier Field, as it was known at the time, which is where I grew up a stone's throw from there. And when they fully went back to Scranton Wilkes-Barre for 2013, they became, instead of the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees, it was Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders.
Mhm.
And their logo was a porcupine. What the hell?
I mean, our is their motto basically saying, "Oh, we're prickly, we have heart." Like, because why else would you have a porcupine be your mascot?
I have no
by the way, I
I-
sent the Yankees mascot in here.
I have
Yes,
no idea.
thank God.
But I'll say this: if that's what they were going for, then I understand why our pitchers get injured in the minor leagues so often if they're having players reach like that.
I forgot his name is Dandy. Yeah, this is what
That freaks me out.
What?
what
What?
is that supposed to be?
Why
What
does
is he
that?
supposed to be?
It looks like half cow, half chicken.
I mean, that is basically that is easily a caricature of Thurman Munson.
He
Like-
was based off the Philly Fanatic.
I don't see that at all, except for like the top of the head.
Somebody please explain to me. Look closely. Look closely at this disastrous thing. Why?
Oh, it looks.
I apologize for interrupting you, Scoop, throughout this segment, but I can't stop laughing.
It looks worse the longer you look at it.
Should I? Oh my god! You know what? I might just make it my profile picture going forward because look at this. Look at this travesty on the screen. What is that supposed to be?
Oh, I didn't realize you were showing it on the screen. I was looking at it because Rob put it in the groupie chat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can see it there too.
In the groupie chat?
I
What did
can't-
you just say?
That is a whole different chat, my friend.
Group chat. I'm sorry, it's been a long day.
Oh my god.
Not so fast, my friend.
But I'm
Oh
looking
my
at
God.
this. Oh, when was this thing even our mascot? You said that was in the 80s?
The 70s.
It was like
70s.
somewhere in the 70s or 80s. Yeah, it was only for like 2 years, I think, 2 or 3 years.
Makes sense when nothing else interesting was happening on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Well, that's all I got. That was a good show. Glad we started early because that was some boring football today.
Yeah.
We'll be back on Tuesday. Shane and I are doing the AWA World Series on Monday night, so you can catch those on their YouTube channels. And we will see you back on Tuesday to talk some Monday Night Football.
Sounds good. Can't complain.
Peace, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Not everybody.
How do I get off of this thing?